All right, now hear me out. You want a trailer that's super lightweight, easy to tow, and it can fold down and be garageable, so you don't have to pay for off-site storage. Well, the Aliner Expedition model for 2025 may be your ticket to really fun travels coming up. So we're gonna talk about how this solid trailer folds, how it pops up, how it's perfectly campable, and it may work for you and your family. Let's get into it. Well, here we are. This is the Aliner Expedition, and it's a 2025 model, and we're gonna go through just a few things, but do remember I like to put as many specs as I can in the video description down below because I have a bad memory for such things. I'll catch what I can. But they give me a little cheat sheet right here. Every single one of the Aliner trailers before it leaves the factory gets weighed individually, so here's a unique weight for this. The tongue weight for this Aliner Expedition is 224 pounds dry without propane on the front and without water in the trailer and whatnot. And the dry weight overall, with nothing in it, is 2,229 pounds. Now, that is very towable. For some of your smaller SUVs, CUVs, whatever they call them these days, that is extremely lightweight package and no big deal for most of your commuters. Now, it obviously gets tall, but it folds down to right about here, and we'll show you towards the end of the video exactly how this trailer goes up and down, how easy that is to accomplish, and we'll go through it. There are some options for these. I'll try to point them out as we go, but before we do that, how about we go ahead and step right on into this trailer and see what we can find there. Okay, so my apologies. I didn't set up the stabilizer jacks. This does have 4 stabilizer jacks. They work really well, but on this particular setup, weather's coming in, so we brought it out here real quick to shoot, and I didn't set it up. It might be a little bit wiggly. But take a look at this. I'm 6'4", and I have a full, I mean, I can touch, but that makes it just over 8 foot tall at the peak, and lots of open space. Look at these windows, which means really good airflow if you want that. All the opening windows do have screens, so it's a real nice package. Take a look at the interior, very bright, pretty modern looking interior. You can pretty much decorate with whatever modern colors and textures you like. I'm gonna come right back here into one of the dormer spaces, and you'll notice that there are some options here, and this could be, you can't order this trailer without this extra headroom here. Look, again, 6'4", and I have a few inches above my head while I'm in my shoes, so pretty good. I do have to duck a little bit here. But if you want the same trailer, but you don't really feel like you need this space, this could be solid right here on both sides, and you might not have the dormer. They have a soft dormer option, which means that there's a tent-like canvas all the way around. Or you can do what we've done here. We've optioned in the hard dormers, which adds obviously better wind protection, better sound protection, better insulation, and this headroom. Let me sit down here, and it's a good space. Obviously the headroom is fantastic. A light right above me, good window, it does open, and this is a nice usable space because it's multifunction. I obviously can set up this table for dining or gaming or working, what have you, and it could be a bed as well. So let's talk about that. I'm going to balance myself precariously across here because I don't have it set up as a bed, and we're going to get an idea of will Clint fit. Again, precarious. This is bad news. Here we go. Plank position. And I have a bit of space at my feet. And this would work perfectly fine for a full-grown adult, even better if you have the full bed built. I'll fix this. Okay, I've recovered from that. Again, this table tucks away, and the way you make that bed, what I didn't do, is obviously this table will be out of the way. Look at these slats. They all store away, out of the way, and they just come up and across here, and you lay out your bedding. But if you're packing and you're traveling and you need to have your storage space all open, because what I do when I camp in these smaller trailers is I tend to camp in bins, you know, a kitchen bin, maybe clothing bin, dry goods bin, things like that, outdoor space bin. It's everything that folds down will be below this level, but look at how much space this trailer has in the floor, and you can just organize your stuff. Tables out of the way, beds out of the way over here, and you could really quickly and efficiently organize and travel with your stuff. There is a 120 plug right there, your typical residential. Now, mind you, that type of plug will only work in a trailer like this if you are on shore power or if you're running on a generator or something like that. Okay, now let's look around, and I think I can move along from this space. You do have a little light right here upon entry to help you get set up in dark times, and your fire extinguisher will be here. I think it's a good time to move to the kitchen. Let's come over to the kitchen area. Again, the headroom, the natural light, the cross breeze is all fantastic, and this is a very, very usable, campable scenario. I'm going to go from top down as best as I can and look at the amount of counter space you have at your disposal, ready to work with. And so prepping is not that big a deal. Let's see here. As I come across, you're going to notice a good surface, 2-burner stove. It does have its own ignition. Let me see if it clicks. That'll do it. So I think they call that piezo or piezo, I think piezo igniter. When you close this, obviously you want to pick up so it doesn't bind. And then you have more workable space. We have another glass top. This is by Dometic, round sink, and it's probably about 7-ish inches deep, round, easy to clean. Love that. You're going to notice up on top here, we have this directional outlet, and that is for your air conditioner, because this does have an air conditioner on board, but you don't see it anywhere in the space because it's underneath and then ducted into the cabin space. So it's directional. Turn it where you want. Now let's come across here to the 3 cubic foot, 12 volt Dometic refrigerator. Pretty good size for this size camper. And let's see here, you have to push the thumb up. So thumb up, grab the side, and it opens. There you go, there's a good look. And again, 3 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor style refrigerator, shelves on the door, shelves in here, easy to clean out. And up top, a pretty decent size freezer area if you need to bring frozen goods, or you just want to bring those little bitty pints or what have you of ice cream, maybe some dilly bars or something like that from Dairy Queen. There you go. Okay, microwave, the outlet for your furnace. Here we have just a couple switches on this panel. It really is just your water heater and water pump, and a light to tell you that your water heater's on, because you don't want to burn that up or be wasting electricity. This is just really a blank area. Down below, some storage, and it goes all the way back to the wall. There's not much back there impeding. You have a little bit of draining in the very back there, but it's well done. Then you have your 120 or 110 outlets again, but this is your GFCI. So I believe all the outlets, the 110, 120 outlets in this camper are all on this GFCI switch, obviously for safety reasons, and it is near the sink. So that makes sense. I'm going to now transition across to show you what's on the other side. The big question that you get with a trailer that is light and easy to tow oftentimes is, does it have the kitchen, does it have the air conditioner, and does it have toilet facilities? This one does, and let's see here. This has a Thetford cassette toilet, and it's really just kind of there, out of the way. You can use this as storage on top, just a shelf system. But obviously you're camping. This is not residential at all. So you're a camper. Mindset, camper, having fun outdoors. Being outdoorsy, rugged. And what an amazing bathroom space. All this headroom, so airy, the ability to have conversation, maybe fry your eggs. Such a good setup. And cassette toilets are amongst the best option for a small camper or someone who really wants to camp off grid. So we'll show you how to use a cassette toilet closer to the end. Once that's all done, You have a little bit of hidden storage right here for your knickknacks, your paddywhacks, and then I'm going to take you down below, and we have storage here. A nice shelf goes all the way to the wall, and then we have pull out smart storage there. And I'm going to come back this way, and you're going to notice I have a really comfortable bench seat. Now they use this 4-inch high density foam, so it's really quite supportive and it is comfortable as well. I do like the feel of this. It obviously is not true leather, but it has proven itself in the many years that Aliner has made these campers that this particular material that they use holds up and cleans up rather well. I do see another 110 outlet on a GFCI breaker. I see on this side USB ports. I see the controls for your furnace. And right next to the wall is a Cool J USA wall controller for the air conditioner that I told you is underneath this sofa area and is ducted throughout the cabin. I have down below a little shelf on both sides, but I need you to know that when you make this area into a bed, that shelf kind of disappears. So if you're in sitting mode, then great. Put your drinks, put your books, put your laptop down. Now down below that little shelf area is your auto detect converter. Now that's really cool because traditional converters, they were made for your sealed or wet acid type batteries, but now with so many lithium ion batteries being an option for your campers, they wanted to develop and bring into this unit a converter that can detect what type of battery you're using, and you don't have to dive into dip switches and buttons and all that. It just knows how to properly charge that battery and keeps you protected. You do have another cigarette style 12-volt outlet right down here, an outlet for if you are at a campsite that has park cable or you have brought maybe a satellite dish with you. You have an outlet for that. And then close to the floor is your detector for propane and carbon monoxide. Up above you on the ceiling is your detector for smoke. So you're covered with a lot of safety equipment in here. Now what you probably would like to see is how this comfortable sofa can be made into a sleeping space. So it's going to happen right before your eyes. I'm just going to pull this out and I'm going to adjust these pads. And there you go. It's a rather large space. Now this could be flipped over, or if you like that shinier stripe, there you go. And it's the same length on this side of the trailer as that side of the trailer. But I will say my back is a little bit more at ease this time. Good headroom, good footroom, enough for 2 adults, go corner to corner, really quite nice. And I must admit, if it were me camping, just myself or just me and my wife, there's a good chance I would leave it as a lounging space over here and set up the dinette space on the other side. So there you go. Again, we have optioned on this side the hard dormer. It doesn't have to have that. It could just be a solid panel. It could have a soft dormer, or it could have this hard dormer. We like these. And I did fail to mention the storage in the dinette area, so I'm going to flip back around real quick and show you the storage underneath the seating there. And then we'll take this outside. Here it is. We do have storage underneath both sides, and they're identical, so I'm not going to bore you with showing you both sides. But this does pull up, has a nice finger grasp there. And you can access this from the outside too. So from the top on the inside, and I do have that door open from the outside, so you might see a little bit of light, but I have it open. And then it's a nice open space right there. Same thing on the other side. Great for just reach and grab things. Maybe you have the optional outdoor stove, good place to keep that. Maybe some supplies, maybe you have things that you need for maintaining the trailer, maybe wheel chalk, something for your campsite, maybe toilet, chemicals, storage built in, pretty nice. You do have a fan in the ceiling right above me, and that pretty well does it. You may have noticed that you do have blackout curtains in here as well. Anything else? I don't think so. Let's go outside. All right, welcome to the outside of this Aliner Expedition. Let's take a listen to this. They always tell me, hey, it sounds good, it feels good, it's solid. And they're right, it is. Aliner Expedition 40-year anniversary sticker. They've been doing this longer than anyone else. I think everyone has tried to copy them and take from the market share, but Aliner has always innovated and stayed on top of things. Let's do a little bit of a once around, see what we can see. Obviously, an outside light for your step light, folding step, and solid walls with Azdel in them. And if you don't know Azdel, it is a great product that is great for a weather barrier. It doesn't absorb water. It is great for your insulative R value. Good product in those walls. Now, here's that dormer on the front, that hard dormer, and you'll see another on the back. Remember that that is an option, and you could do a soft dormer instead, makes it feel a little bit lighter, a little bit more campy, or you can go without the dormer altogether. I don't see those too often. Usually I see these. Okay, I see something right here, and it's a standard feature, and it does bring forth some questions. This is the high wind lift assist system, and you'll find a corresponding one on the other side, and it is a really solid bar. Once you are set up, you bring this over, and I don't typically have to use this for lifting purposes, but you could, during setup, use this to help you to lift up the main beam or the main side. But in high wind situations, you really want to make sure that these two roof lines stay really well cinched together. So you just bring that bar in and pin it together like so, and on the other side, and no stray wind is going to pull those apart at all. I haven't ever really seen it happen, but it is a possibility, potentiality. Let's take a look at this. An option for this trailer is the outdoor griddle or grill, and it would hang on this rail. Now this is access to storage beneath that back seating or bedding, depending on how you have it configured. It does have a hold open right here. Nice thick door, and it is not all the way across. It goes into the space about just over 2 feet, I would say. It goes in this way a little ways too. Good outdoor storage, particularly if you're going to be utilizing this space. Another thing that I do see here on the outside is that this does not have your off-road package. There is an option that you can have an off-road package with more off-road tires and a little bit more ground clearance. This has your standard setup. Coming back this way, this is the cassette for that Thetford cassette toilet. And let's run you through that real quick. There it is, there's the cassette. That captures all of your waste from that toilet. And it is a very handy setup. This is a very common setup for light, small trailers, particularly all around the world. Europe uses them, Australia uses them, I mean, everywhere. And they're becoming very popular around these parts as well too. So what can you do? You can roll it, just pop that in place, roll it to a dump site, whether it be the sewage dump station at the campgrounds or a vault toilet at the campsite or something like that. And then you get into that situation, and this will have a cap on it. It's never been used, so it will have a cap on it. You'll rotate this around, you'll undo the cap, and then you'll, of course, direct its flow towards the inlet of that dump station or that vault toilet. And then right here on top, as you know, whenever you try to dump something like a bottle or a can and it's a closed system, without airflow coming back in easily, it'll glug, and you don't want that whenever you're trying to dump the contents. So instead, you'll release air pressure, or you'll allow for air to enter the canister, and you'll dump it, and it won't have as much potential for glugging and things like that. Then you'll be done, you put the cap back on, rotate that back in, and we'll slide it right back into that space. And you're good to go. Now, it looks like this particular trailer, the water for this toilet is plumbed into the freshwater tank of the trailer. So we'll talk about that and the capacities towards the end. Let's come on around, and you're gonna notice a very clean setup back here. You do have this diamond plate on the front and the back, a really good bumper. You do have really solid, and I do like this style of stabilizer jack probably better than a scissor style jack, but they're lever style. That's what I'm coining them, calling them right now, but I like them better. For some reason, they just work better in my mind. So maybe just a psychological thing on my part. Then you do have a mount here for a tire, and then this is, it says right here, intended for bike racks only, because its weight capacity is fairly low, but good for maybe 2 bikes on a portable bike rack. Coming around on this side, just a quick few things to point out. This is a little inlet for, it's kind of SAE style plug for a portable solar panel, which is a really cool way to get a little bit more charge into that battery. You can park this in the shade of a tree, you can put your solar panels out in the sun and be much more comfortable. Here's your fresh water connection for city water. I do always recommend that you use a water pressure regulator, because a lot of parks don't have a really good idea on how much pressure they're sending in, and you don't want to blow out your water fitting. So water pressure regulator, you can fill up that water tank right there. Here's the back of your furnace, and here's a 30 amp inlet. Now, one thing I do always recommend, same thing as recommending something for the inlet for the water from the city water, I also recommend a surge protector for the power coming into your camper, so that you don't cause any damage to circuit boards or things like that in your refrigerator, air conditioner, anything like that. So surge protector here. This is an inlet for park cable or satellite if you bring it. And then we'll come along here, an outdoor shower, and that should be hot and cold. This would be the back of your water heater there. This is venting on the back side of that refrigerator. Now, I am going to show you access to the outdoor storage on this side, and remember that you had access to the storage from the top of your dinette seating and also outside. It is lockable, so a little bit of safety there. Good thick door, once again, with a hold open, so you don't have to worry about it bonking you in the head while you're rummaging for your stowed items. We have yet another inlet for power right there. Interestingly enough, you could have inlet there or inlet here. Front dormer, such a great option. And then we're going to look at the front end, the tongue end. Now, just a quick apology. Again, we pulled this out here, we've had some weather and we're expecting more weather, so it is not as washed up as we usually like it to be. But this is where you'll have your propane. This is where you'd have your battery box. It is a manual tongue jack as it sits, but that is a very easy upgrade if you should choose to go that way. It runs on a 2-inch ball, so that's a very common, easy connection for most tow vehicles. 7-pin plug, breakaway cable, and take a look at this. This is one thing that has become an easy thing over the years, but they used to not have them. You can protect that plug from the weather, keep dirt and water from splashing up into it, dust doesn't get into it, just by putting it into that little holster right there. There you go. A little light on the front for you to do what you need to do. If you need to check your propane, open, close a propane bottle, switch out a propane bottle in the middle of the night, or if you're hooking up or detaching, a little bit of light to help you. And I like that it's the amber color instead of a very bright kind of bluish white light, because in the dark, this is the amber colors, the ones that go a little bit more to the red side of the spectrum, tend to be better for your eyes at night and for those around you as well. Let's come around and wrap this little showcase up, and then we'll show you here at the end how to set this trailer up. We're at the front, a little bit more storage on the side here. Again, you can access it from the inside. Now, they do say that you can bring these A-liners up in about 30 seconds, but it does have the additional optional hard dormers on the front and back. That'll add a little bit of time, but do you want to see how easy this is to set up once you arrive at your campsite? I bet you do. Let's go find out. Here it is. It is time to see how this thing goes up. Now, I'm not going to just go for any speed records. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it works so you have an understanding of it. But let's go ahead and start out. The easy way is to unlatch things and get things prepped. We're going to start out with the steps, and I'm just gonna go around and make sure that the things that I want to move are free to move by unlatching them. So these are lockable, but they are not locked right now, and they are under kind of a compression situation. So I like to put my arm on it, put a little weight on it, and then they come free. And there's gonna be a few more of these because if you have the dormers, they also latch down. If you didn't have the dormers, you wouldn't worry about these on the side because there's nothing to latch. So here we go. Let's pull that loose. There we go. I'll get that, make sure that stays out of the way. Okay. Okay. Follow me. We'll get another on this side and then the two dormer latches on the front. Okay, you're gonna notice it already wants to start to rise up, and that's because it's spring loaded or bungee loaded, if you will. And I'm gonna get just two more of these latches on this side. There we go. That's that one and this one. I would typically have the stabilizer jacks down. I have it off my tow vehicle under most circumstances, level already, stabilizer jacks down, but this is, you know, demonstration purposes only. Don't forget there is this lift assist bar. I typically don't need it, but you can kind of see as I do this how it might be helpful, because all I have to do is start pushing. Look at that. Not much pressure to get this thing going. I'm not there yet, but that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna make sure that it goes all the way up and it sits in that ridge at the top. Okay, and I'm just gonna pop it up on the other side as well. Little pop, and we're there. So next thing is I have to come around and lift these wall sections up on the left and the right, and then that's the basis for this A-frame camper style. The only addition to what I'm going to do, and I will show you this, is opening the dormers as well. So you see I'm already most of the way there. Let's come around and get started on this next segment. So I'll step through this door, and then I'll raise this up, step in one step, and then, this is not heavy, lift this right on over my head. Did you see that? Now there's a little clip right here, and you'll see them on all sides. They're all exactly the same. I'm just gonna go and hold that wall in place with that clip. Wall is secure, and with that wall secure, I can go ahead and connect this door, and that makes this a solid panel. Now come and take a look inside. Okay, so this next part is, again, it's not heavy, just another panel up. We're going to turn that in. I like to put a hand right there by the exit symbol and push it. One more on this side. And your basic A-frame is set up and ready to go. You'll just put your cushions up. But we do have these optional dormers, so let's watch and see how well those go up. I'm just going to open it. Push that out, it sets in place. Handle there, handle there. One dormer is done. Let's come around to the dinette side, and we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna lift up. Notice that there's seals on everything. There's a seal here, there's a seal there, there's a seal here. So it all closes up nicely. There's a seal over here. So seal, 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 seal. Seal there. Yep, one over here as well. It's hard to see all the seals, but they really did think about the weatherproofing on this trailer design. There you go. And there you go. And now all you have is setting your cushions back up and getting your camping space exactly how you want it. So there it is. The setup of an A-liner, and this is the Expedition model, with the optional hard dormers. It was that easy, just as easy to put down. I do want to remind you that there is the lift assist bars if you want to use them, which also double as a high wind kit. So you might add that to your routine, but that's it. Let's wrap this up. And there we have it. The Aliner Expedition with the optional hard dormers. It is a very easy to camp in, very easy to travel with, easy to tow, easy to store trailer, and it offers you a little bit more of the comfort and protection just because it's all hardwall in this configuration. So with that in mind, A-liner's been around for a long time, building a product that has just crisscrossed North America so many times. So if this has been an interesting, compelling option for you, the way you camp, maybe as a solo camper, a couple, or maybe you have a small family or dogs that travel with you, this might be something to look into. The A-Liner lineup, the 2025 lineup from A-Liner, this is the Expedition model. We have them at Princess Craft RV. We invite you to check them out. It's been a pleasure showing it to you. I'm Clint. I'll see you next time.